This is the Griffin Podcast, episode number 85. We continue with our agent plan, and the subject is profit and scale. Are you a home seller or a home buyer who has questions about selling or buying residential property? Or maybe you're a real estate agent who needs a plan, but you can't find an easy way to get any of your answers. Well, then, hey, you are definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of The Griffin and the host of the Ask-A-Griffin podcast. Now, to help you take immediate action to get started in the right direction, if you are a seller, buyer, or agent, you can take advantage of our free step-by-step guides that are waiting for you at griffincourses.com. That's Griffin courses.com. Get over there. There's 3 different plans, depending on who you are, that will help you with the what to do information, right? Of course, if we can help you with the how to do, you know where to find us. All right. We're continuing, and we're what I call the bonus section of the agent plan, where we're just, once the business is up and going with the basics and the fundamentals, you're at this point where you might be able to profit and scale your business. And it doesn't take that many deals a year to have some financial resources where the profit is there, and you have to make some decisions of what you do with that profit. And that's a big deal, because you are an independent contractor, business owner who's now looking to, run this and grow this and hopefully make it a predictable, sustainable business for a long time. That's my goal at the Griffin when we teach our agents, is that we want them to learn very quickly how to be profitable. From the very start, when they first get their license, we give them very particular advice that is contrary to the popular advice that gets you nowhere chasing your tail. In one of our MLSs in the area we cover, there are 2,500 plus or minus registered real estate agents with this board. Half of them didn't sell a single property. Stunning, right? And that's a tragedy, and it bothers us. And so we want to give the best advice we can to anybody, even if you're not part of our brokerage, to stop that. It has to stop. And here's how to begin this profit and scale once you do get some success, so that you can sustain it and you don't become one of those people one year you sell 4, 5, 10 homes, next year none, because the economy collapses and you don't have a plan. So the first thing is that you really have to discover early on in your business what's most profitable. In other words, this concept of the one thing that we're supposed to focus on in our lives, in our businesses, whatever it might be. What's the one thing? Now, in business, profit is not the only thing. It's the absolute only thing, right? Without profit, you're going nowhere. You can sell properties, you can create that commission revenue, and if there's no profit, that means you're spending too much and you don't have a plan. So it's easy to fix if you just discover a couple of things. And my best advice to my agents is, look, you want to discover that listings that you can acquire at or above the median price in the geography within which you live and will do business. You want to discover how to get those listings. Because the sooner that you work on that, the sooner you're going to see that those are the most profitable efforts, or that's the most profitable exercise that you could go through, the acquisition of listings at or above the median price in the geography within which you work. And then go about trying to figure that out and acquire them. Now, once you do that, and I'm not going to get into that, that's not this podcast, but for me, there's a lot of outbound calling. I deliver my plan to the people we connect with. They're able to see our professionalism. We're able to see how we can help offer our insight on top of that information. That typically gets us invited in, and we acquire listings that way. Then we take tremendous care to make sure we stay constantly in communication, so that if any adjustments on price or conditional things we can do to the property to help it get sold, depending on the economy, we do that. So I have a very clear system that I follow. It's simple. We teach our agents to do exactly the same things that I do in my own book of business, and there are plenty of listings, folks. If you are an agent or thinking about becoming an agent, and you can get access, we have it in the multiple listing service, so we can pull it anytime, but there are hundreds of millions of dollars that transact in this industry, no matter what the economy's doing. So there is a position of plenty. You just need to determine that your mindset will be right, that you're going to get X number of those. And you don't need a lot. Start with the national average, which truly is about 3. We have some weird stat in our industry called the typical agent. Don't know what that means, but the average agent is about 3 deals a year. But at the median or above, that's a killer good part-time job. Really good. Even after your splits with your agency, which takes a lot of the risk and cost, and you get your split off of that, it's still a really profitable business, even at the average number of 3. So when you look at that, one of the things that you want to do to feel good about this business is really more personal as the owner. And the second point there is to automate your owner's savings. So the best advice I can give you that I've seen along the way, pretend you're the CEO owner, okay? Owner/CEO, and that you're getting a dividend, similarly to the way that you would when you invest in the stock market. You invest in, say, an Apple or a Google, and they pay out a dividend. Typically in my portfolio, those things are just reinvested right back in. So as the owner of the company, meaning when you own a share of Google and you get some of that profit come to you, well, that's your dividend. I could pull it out and put it in a savings account, but then I'm losing money. So I just put it right back into that company, whereas you should take it out of the business so that you have it somewhere. I would recommend, and again, depending on how profitable it is, I would recommend an index fund bare minimum, right? If you went into something like I have in my portfolio, I have the Vanguard Index, S&P 500 Index Fund, super low cost. John Bogle wrote a fabulous book about multiple books, but John Bogle's the founder of Vanguard, and there are other low cost S&P 500 index funds. I would recommend that to reward yourself for running a profitable real estate agent business, you automate that dividend into an investment index fund, period. Right? It's my best advice. Give it to my kids. I practice it myself. That's the core fundamental, non-risk. Take advantage of the long-run savings. Ask Warren Buffett how that one works out when you're steady and you buy quality and you buy the index fund. Some smart people before me have talked about this. I'm just a parrot echoing it for you, right? Automate your owner's savings. I recommend somewhere around 5 to 10% off the gross commission that you receive. Okay. So when you get your split, take that, put it away. Feels good. It's a reward. It'll feel good. But the last point here, and the most important point of this podcast today, is reinvest it back into the golden goose that just gave you the profit. What are you doing, right? Now, this is why do you think I started with Discover What's Most Profitable? It's the acquisition of listings. And so even if you work really hard to get your first one, and whether it comes from an expired, a for sale by owner, a friend refers, it doesn't matter to me. Think though, write down on a yellow pad of paper, which is, see my pen? My yellow pad of paper is right here too. I'm going to move my glasses and everything else that's next to me, and I'll show it to you. There it is. Okay. My legal pad. I'm always ready to write down what works and edit. So once you start to do that, you have something to look back on and say, oh, here's what I did to successfully acquire, manage, and close that listing. What could I invest more in? Well, I got the list of names from here and it cost me X. Good, give that thing back some of that. In my case, I have employed a lot of independent contractor telemarketers. So when I see things are coming from their work, I reward them with more hours. Or I hire another one and create another opportunity for somebody. And I take that profit and I put it back in and I expand. You see, the golden goose is not just being fed in one lane, it's also expanding because it's profitable, right? It's a pretty simple concept. So let me go back and hit this today. So we are in the agent plan. And we're presuming that you've been following the plan down the line all of a sudden. And it could be just like, this is quick, by the way. My new telemarketer just got me into 5 different listings that we acquired, all of them in 8 weeks. So when I tell you keep it simple and find that one thing that's most profitable, go all in on learning how to do it. And if I'm saying it after 22 and a half years of doing this, 16 years of coaching hundreds of people, maybe thousands at this point, right? Just do the simplest stuff. It's how Warren Buffett got rich in his lane. He just did the simplest, most obvious stuff, and he didn't take these ridiculous risks, right? And that's the thing a lot of people do. Instead of investing back into what just worked, they, well, I hear this guy or this gal is doing this, so I'm going to go buy this website. And next thing you know, you're not even getting listing leads. You're getting buyer leads, and they're certainly not at the median price. They're below. And those people are whimsically looking, and they might or might not even give you a chance, and now you're drowning in nonsense, and there goes your profit right down the drain. I say that to a lot of top producers all the time. Can't believe how many top producers are just, their business is ugly. And it's not focused on listings, and it's sort of like a knock on the head to say, huh? So anyway, the agent plan, profit and scale. 1, discover what is most profitable. Hint, listings. 2, automate your owner's savings. The minute you get your commission check, 5 to 10% automatically off into an investment account, I recommend. And I would say then you start to accumulate over time, dollar cost average on the S&P 500 index fund. That's at the lowest cost that you can get. I recommend Vanguard because I use them. 3, reinvest back into the golden goose, and specifically into the golden goose machine that is laying the eggs. So if it's telemarketing, if it's packages you put together to deliver to the sellers, whatever it might be, you hired a client care manager to really help you care for the details of the listing. Your closing coordinator is making sure you don't lose any of this so that you can go back out and do it. Whatever. Reinvest in those things. Stop chasing shiny objects, he said. Let me summarize it this way. Once you build a profitable real estate business, and it doesn't take that many to be profitable, right? It's important to pay yourself an owner's dividend first. However, it's just as critical to not waste the rest of the profit on frivolous ideas or shiny objects. It's paramount that you reinvest into the golden goose, or most profitable activity that's driving your growth if you want to build a predictable business that lasts. All right, remember, you can take immediate action to get started in the right direction. If you're a seller, buyer, or agent who wants help by getting a copy of any of our free step-by-step guides that are waiting for you at griffincourses.com. That's GRIFFIN courses.com. Also, don't forget, you can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen, or find us on any of our social media channels so that you don't miss out on any of the insights each time we upload an episode. We'd also appreciate it if you would share our content with anyone thinking about buying or selling a property right now or in the near future, or maybe they're thinking about becoming a real estate agent, so that anybody that's listening or that you know that you could help gets the help that they need to be successful. Remember, we sign off this podcast and the other podcasts we do the same way every time. Nobody is coming for you. Nobody. So take action. Get to work on a plan for buying or selling your next property or becoming a successful real estate agent, and we will see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks again.